patrons, Professor Kumarswamy Rao, BIT Hyderabad, Professor Altaf Hussain, BIT Hyderabad. I am glad to welcome Dr. JP Singh, IIC President and Principal BIT, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Suman, Professor College Admin in Charge BIT, Dr. Papita Datta, IIC Vice President and Associate Professor BIT. With equal pleasure, I welcome Dr. G. Gayatri, IIC Ambassador, Associate Professor BIT Hyderabad. Now over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Aziza. So let me share my screen. You just tell me if you are not able to see it, okay? Okay, so are you able to see the presentation mode?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So it's really a very good opportunity that we have to conduct such a session, right? You have been attending so many sessions, right, related to Innovation Council, and then you have been exposed to a number of things. But still, because it's like an ocean, we have to sail in it, and then we try to get to know so many things, and we have to understand what exactly it is, right? So we are conducting a number of sessions for you people so that it will be beneficial for you, those who want to be innovators and those who want to be student entrepreneurs. Okay, so this is a very good opportunity for you people. Okay, let me start with my presentation. So before I start with my actual presentation, I would like to share one of my quotes, which I take it to myself, and then I try to implement every day in my life. So talk to yourself and think, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. So this is a famous quote that Swami Vivekananda has given us. So you keep working on it, and then you will definitely be able to do wonders, right? Right. So now we are talking about innovation and startup, right? So what is innovation and what is startup? So many questions, right? So you people will be having a number of questions, and you, to some extent, you will be thinking that why should I have an innovation, and why should I think of an innovation, and why should I have a startup? Okay, so too many questions, and sometimes you feel that this is all boring, so I'll just leave it, and then fed up with all these things, I want to leave it. But whenever you want to understand a particular concept, you have few important questions that you can have a clear question. Okay, so first you have to tell to yourself or ask yourself, what is innovation and what is startup? Okay, that is the first question that you can have. Then why should you at all talk about innovation, and why should you at all talk about startup? This is another way of asking a question, right? Then how do you understand, like what are all the things that you have to know about when you talk about this innovation and startup? This is one more thing that you have to know, right? And finally, once you have understood all these, the final thing would be, whom should I approach to have a startup, and whom should I approach when I have an innovation? That is one more question that comes to your mind. So these four questions, if you are able to understand, clear, innovation and startup is there with you, and you will be able to do wonders. Okay. But then, of course, there are so many other things that we have to understand. We will try to do in a course of time, right? But asking question is important, right? We have to ask question, and then we should know what has to be done after that. Okay, that is the first thing that we have to know, right? Now we'll come back to our questions one by one. So what is innovation? Okay, so what is innovation? When I want to talk about a textbook definition, I'll say that innovation is a new method, an idea, or a product a product, etc. Okay, so this is a textbook definition that we can have for an innovation. If I want to talk about a startup, so I'll say it's an embark on a venture. It's an embark on a venture or undertaking, especially a commercial one. So you try to focus upon it and try to do something. You want to venture and you want to take something to a cause where you are trying to look at a commercial aspect, in a commercial perspective. So this is what we have to understand when you talk about innovation and startup. Then, why should you at all know about innovation and startup? So before that, you should first ask yourself, is this a new thing that is being introduced? Okay, so you have a number of cases where innovations and startups have been there, but we never know what is happening exactly. So the answer for this will be no. This is not a new thing that we have known, right? It's a well-known thing that innovation and startup is there. Now, to understand that, we'll go to our ancient Indian things that were followed. Okay, so can anybody tell me who is this? Okay, who is this great personality? We try to talk about him a number of times, but some of you might have missed his picture. I don't know, but you can as well answer me. Who is this? Yes, anybody? Yes, Ma, you can answer if anybody has any answer with you. Who is this great personality that I'm showing here? Yes. So somebody can answer, right? It should be one-to-one. We cannot have only one-sided. No, we should have one-to-one, so that it will be good way of understanding things, right? We'll understand them better. Okay. So, okay, because it is an initial, I think I'll just start with it. Okay. So he is Shushruta, the father of cosmetic surgery. You people might have heard about him. You people might have somewhere or other you came across this person. Okay. Then one more great personality. Can anybody tell who this is? You can unmute yourself and then talk. You don't have to write anything in the chat box. Okay. Can anybody tell who this person is?
Charaka.
Yeah.
Father of Ayurveda.
Okay, good. So he is father of medicine. He's known as Jiva Kaumarabhitya. Okay, good. Man. So good attempt. Then next, who is this person? Who is this great personality?
Aryabhatta.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so he is Varahamihira who said water is there in Mars. So this was 1500 years ago that this was already known, well-known concept, but it was not brought about. Okay, this is another innovation that was told. Okay, then can anybody tell about this person, who this person is? He is the father of atomic theory. Yeah, he is Acharya Kanad. Okay, so he is, yes, ma'am?
No, ma'am. I told it is Rishikanath.
Okay. Then, so one more person, I think you have already answered it. You have given a name, right? So who was that? The one who gave just now? when I was talking about this
Aryabhatta.
person, yeah, good. So he is Aryabhatta. He has given, told us about the concepts of 0 and pi in mathematics, right? Of course, there are other innovations also, which we might have come across or we may have ignored, we are not sure. But see, this is Vimana, or what you call this as a Tripura Vimana, where it has a 3-storied floors, and then it is 3-storied, and then it was used to fly in the upper atmosphere. Okay, so that is the way innovations were carried out. Okay, and this is I know that I think you most of you might be knowing about this one. So this is the innovation which is being used in villages even now. So they try to connect that, take water, and then they try to pour into agriculture fields, right? So they use this pulley, and then they try to pull the water out, and then they try to pour it into the agricultural fields. So this is one more innovation which you might have seen, you might have come across a number of times, right? Now we'll come to our present day. Okay, so here we have a number of innovations that we will be talking about. So the first one, that is Cherka. Okay, so this is father of nation who has promoted this khadi, and then Swadeshi movement was brought about, and you have this Cherka, right? Then you might have seen this in a number of places, right? Father will be driving a cycle, riding a bicycle, and then you have behind they'll be keeping one box, and then you'll have they'll be asking their kids to sit in that. So this is an innovation actually, right? Then so there are a number of other innovations also. This one is really most of you might have observed even now. So some of your parents keep on doing such small innovations at your place, and then they try to save things, no? Most of you might have seen this. Okay, so this is another innovation where they are trying to use, and it's a sort of excavator which they are trying to dig mud, and then they try to put it in a tractor. Okay, then this is I think you people have seen in the old movies where they put a double lock. It's a double lock system sort of thing, right? So you lock it, and then you have another bolt which is kept. Okay, so this is one more innovation that you have. You have the tires, and then you keep all these tires in the form of a chair, and then you have a new innovation, right? So this is another one, right? And this is a new innovation that we can think about, and people are following. So you have to maintain social distance during this COVID times. So what they do, they try to put a pipe in between, and then try to pour milk into the funnel, and then that as per the measurement that is collected in a container, right? So this is a recent innovation that we can think about. Okay, so these are all the things that are there, but what is happening, why there is a problem, where we are facing a problem, that is the thing which we have to really understand, right? So when we get back to our education system, so because of course we have so many innovations, we have to talk about our education system, which it plays a major role in future, in the career aspects of a child, or in development aspects of a child. So previously there was this Macaulay's education system, which was followed by the British rule, given by the British rule. So what does that say? You have education, and this education was not for the technical development of Indians. Okay, so and they only have to work for the Britishers. So that was the concept that was there before. So you don't have to learn much. You try to learn few mathematical equations here and there, and then you try to do some calculations. It's okay with them. So you get a job. Okay, that was the concept that was being followed. Okay. Then, so you people have this education system where rote learning models were there, and then because what is a rote learning model? So you keep on mugging up things, right? You keep on mugging up things, and you exactly do not know the concept, right? You only have to buttify or mug up all the things that are there. Then you have examination based model. So you only prepare for the examination and you don't have to focus on what exactly you're learning. Okay, you get so many marks, you write the exam, get marks, that is enough. Then you have, it's not an outcome but an output based model. Okay, so this is one more thing that is a problem. So there is no you are not thinking about the outcome. Suppose you are learning a concept, what is the outcome of that? That you are not trying to learn. Okay, it's only the output. Okay, you get so many marks, so that is an output that you are going to get. Then our education system previously was fragmented. So you call it as a fragmented ecosystem, or you call them as silos. So silos are fragmented. You have math separate, physics separate, English separate, chemistry separate. So there is no convergence at a particular point. These are all bifurcated. These are all divided. You don't know, you learn a particular subject because you get marks. You want to get good marks, but you don't know where you're going to apply and what is one subject doing with the other subject. Okay, no interdisciplinary concept that is being that was there in the education system previously. Okay, then you have these silos. When you talk about, these are rigid separation of systems. Okay, so they're all separated and you cannot converge or you cannot merge any at any particular point. Okay, and they also did not permit any innovations. Okay, that was the main drawback that was there with this Macaulay's education system. But then what has to be done, right? So here we have to change our education system. We have to rebuild our education system so that we can compete globally in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship or a startup. Okay, so that is the main concept that we are going to talk about here. Right. So government has given us this national education policy. So according to this, what is that? We have to exactly talk about. So the vision of this national educational policy is you have equitable and vibrant knowledge society. The vision is you should have an equitable and vibrant knowledge society. Then develop deep sense of respect towards the rights, duties, and constitutional values. Okay, then make students responsible for human rights. So the rights, in sense, you are not talking about the right to vote, such not such types of rights you are talking about. You're talking about the values. Okay, the human values. The students should be responsible for whatever they are doing. Okay, so that is what the national education policy's vision is mainly, okay, focuses on. Then the national education policy also talks about the conceptual learning. Okay, so here what is that? You have the summative assessment and the learning concept. So they're not bothered in between whether a unit test is there or a slip test is there or what is that. Finally, you're writing a final exam, and then what did you learn from that? Learning of the concept, that is more important. Okay, learning of the concept is the main thing that is to be understood. Then holistic development. Okay, so holistic development, when you say, you are talking about the intellectual, mental, physical, emotional, and social abilities of students. So it's an all-round development of a student, right? So how do you reach to that stage? When you have the extracurricular activities, when you get into different other extracurricular activities like music, art, sports. So these are all the things that you have to talk about. Okay, then critical thinking and creativity. Okay, so when I talk about this critical thinking and creativity, so what does that mean? You should be able to understand what exactly is this. Suppose you're talking about a subject or you're talking about any concept, so you should go deep into the subject and try to understand why it is so. You ask questions, you talk to yourself and say why such things are there. Okay, so that results in something which is creative. That results in something which is creative. Okay, so this is all about the national education policy. But then what? Okay, so we have to further talk about other aspects also, right? So how India can become innovative in terms of global ranking, that is our main focus. That should be our main focus, how India is going to become innovative in terms of global ranking. Okay, then so AICTE, Ministry of Education, together they try to build up a concept where you have Ministry of Innovation Cell and Institutions Innovation Council. So these are all the concepts that they have brought about, the agencies that they have brought about. And what do they talk about? That is, a culture has to be developed, right? You have to have a culture of innovation. So why they're not saying you should develop innovation, they are saying culture of innovation has to be developed. So why should culture, it should be imbibed within you. Whenever you talk about any culture, culture is something which is imbibed or which is there with you, okay? So you have to accept that into your system and then say innovation is my culture. So culture of innovation and startup ecosystem in educational institutions should be systematically looked into. Okay, that is the main focus of this IIC, right? Then, so what are all the things that it focuses upon? It talks about the ideation, it talks about the problem solving, it talks about the proof of concept development, design thinking, IPR, that is intellectual property rights, and then project handling. Now, what are all these concepts? So when you say ideation, it means that you should have an idea first. Okay. So once you have an idea, what is the next stage? Okay. You have to solve it. Okay. How do the problem? How do you solve that problem? That is important. Then, so you try to solve the problem. So then, how do you develop? How do you take it to a particular stage? So that is proof of concept development. Then design thinking. So all these will be possible only when you have a proper plan. So we will look at this design thinking in the next slide. As of now, you just remember you also have this design thinking. Okay, then IPR, intellectual property rights. So once you are with a particular innovation, try to patent it. So that is one more concept that you have. Okay, and then you handle the project. So project handling is the last one, right? So these are all the things that you are going to understand. Okay. Now, how does this work? So just 1 second, ma. I'll just see if everybody is there. Okay. So if anybody is there, just let me know. I'll try to admit, right? So, okay, fine. So, yeah. Okay, so now I hope you are able to see this. Right. So how does this work? So this is our next thing that we have to understand. So you have a series of things that you have to talk about. So you empathize, you define, ideate, prototype, and then test. So what are all these? When I say empathize, so you want to work on some innovation. So you just cannot work on an innovation just like that. So you should have a team, talk to your team members, try to collect the ideas, and then see how it will work, and get to if your team members say that no, this is not the way we have to work, we will have some other changes, accept it. So it's all an emotional thing that is going on here. So you have to empathize first, then you define. So once you have a proper discussion among yourself, you define a target. Okay, so that is our next stage. Okay, so you define a target. So once you define a target, you have an idea, right? So an idea comes from there. Okay, so you have an idea, then what do? You will develop a prototype. So what is a prototype? It's a small working model that you develop, which so that you can take it to a bigger end. Okay, so you develop a prototype and try to test it. If that test, if it works, then fine. If it does not work, then again get back to the first: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and a test. So this is a series of things that should go on. Okay, you are going to have a series of stages, and then once your test is confirmed, once you know that it's going to work, then you will go to the next stage. Okay. So you are all there, and then with the team members, you are trying to have an idea, you are trying to develop some idea, and your team members should have a common vision. Okay, you are trying to work for a particular thing. You should have your main goal should be the same, but you should be from different areas. So what does different areas mean? Some person might be good at doing research. A person might be good at managerial skills, or he'll be able to talk properly. He or she will be able to talk to the strangers well, and have a good managerial skills. Then you can somebody will be good at programming, and others will be good at planning. So all these together only will work for an innovation or a startup to come into a particular thing. Okay. Then so once you try to look at all these things, then you will definitely be different, right? So what is going to happen? You will not be with the others, you will run forward with your concept. Okay, how will that happen? Only when you reiterate a number of times and try to see that your model is working properly. Only then it will be a good innovative or a startup which you are going to take forward. Okay. Then, so once you have planned, once you worked with your team members, what next, right? So you have set diagram here. So here, what is that it is showing exactly? So here you talk about desirability, feasibility, and viability. So these are the three concepts that we usually come across. So what is desirability? So whenever I want to think about an innovation, or whenever I want to think about startup, I should keep in mind the society. Okay, I should keep in mind. So human values. When I say, I'm keeping in mind the society, what the society wants, that is important. So how the society is going to use it. Suppose you have a number of things. You have a dishwasher. You have a mobile phone. You have so many things that are there. So what is the main thing? How society is going to use that. So that is desirability. Okay, once you know that, okay, this particular item or this particular product will be usable by the society. So then what? You have to talk about the feasibility. You know that you want to build a particular thing, then you bring in the technology there. So what are all the things that you can do? You will be doing that. But what do you mainly talk about feasibility is, so if I want to talk about a desirable product, and then I say that I'll spend 40 crores or 50 crores on that, that is not a feasible product, right? So I should think about something, a technology which will cost me less. I cannot have a product which is a 40 crore project or a 50 crore project. I should think in lakhs, or I should reduce my cost. Okay, so there I bring about technology which is within the limits, which is feasible. Okay, so once I talk about the desirability and feasibility, then comes the viability. Now I should take it to the business point perspective. Okay, so I know that this is the technology. I can take it to the society. Then how well I can take it to, in what way I can take it to the society. That is more important, right? So here comes the business. Now, when I talk about business, then comes whom should I approach? Now I only know how to innovate things, or I only know how to develop a startup, but I don't know because I don't have amount, right? I don't have money. I should approach somebody for my business to take forward. Okay, so what will I do? I'll try to approach somebody. So who is that person who is going to whom you are going to approach? That is even more important, right? So that is one more aspect that you have to consider. Right. So when you do all these things, when you try to talk about desirability, feasibility, and viability, you're actually talking about an innovation or a startup, right? So innovation is a product generation, and startup is something which is a commercial one. That is our definition, which I have given, which we have given in the first initial slides, right? So that is nothing but innovation or startup, right? Now, Ministry of Innovation Council, or CEL, has brought about so many different things so that more projects and more innovations will be coming from students. Okay, so you have hackathon, where the toys are which was conducted there. They tried to focus on the toys, so that you can have a make in India product. Okay, then Smart India Hackathon, Singapore India Hackathon, Asian India Hackathon. Then you have Drug Discovery Hackathon, Samadhan. So these are all the different hackathons that MIC has introduced, Ministry has introduced, so that the students will try to get benefited out of that. Then you have other schemes like Yukti, you have Kapila, So we'll just see what are these two schemes later, right? Okay. Then you have other things also, that is ARI ranking and National Innovation and Startup Policy. So these are all the things that the ministry has put forward, right? Then Yukti is the one where you have innovations of the projects which will be uploaded. Okay, so if you have any project, you are welcome. You can upload in your Yukti portal. Okay, so that is the reason all the IIC members are asked to work on these innovations, right? You can work on your own innovation and you can happily upload in your Yukti 2.0 portal, right? Then you have a Kapila scheme, which is the Kalam program for IP literacy and awareness. So what is this? Once you have an innovation, you try to patent it. So that patent, what you're talking about, is being uploaded in Kapila. Okay, where the government gives you the amount once you have. Suppose you are giving, you are uploading few projects for patenting. So even government will also support you people. Okay, so such things are there in Kapila. You can also go through this, and these are all the other innovations that are there in the portal. You can as well go through these. Okay, so this is the first one, is a small low cost thresher for small farmers. So you have this rice that is there. Then you try to use this for getting removing the wheat, the outer shell. Then you have the contactless waste bin, where you're not touching it. It's all working with AI. Okay. Then you have this exercising tool for arthritis patients, which is the third one. Okay. So these are all the different innovations that have been uploaded. Okay. Then, so once we do all this, what are we going to achieve? We are going to achieve a self-reliant India, and we will definitely be having Make in India, or different types of products that we are going to get from our industries, or our industries which are there in India, right? We are trying to become an entrepreneur, or we are trying to have our own startup, and then we are trying to make our goods. That is something which we have to think about, right? Then, so we will try to look at a few of the different innovators and innovations. Okay, so this one most of you might have heard about. He's called, he started this Dabbawala, where Mahadev, he's Mahadev Hawaji. And second one, based on this Dabbawala concept, there was a kid called Tilak Mehta, who started Papers and Parcels, where he tries to use an app so that the Dabbawala concept is reaching the society. Okay. Then you have Flipkart, OYO, all these are Indians, right? They are all working for India. And then you have one more. So this is a team of members that were there. And then they all together try to have a manhole cleaner, where you are trying to use a robot. Okay. So they started with Gen Robotics as their startup or company. Then you have others, like you have TAC Security, which is a cyber security company. Then you have Fresh Papers by this lady. So here what you do, whatever you take into that particular cover or container, so it will be fresh for a long time. So it's made up of all natural products. Okay, then you have another company, startup by Headache Care. Okay, and then you have one more Represent. So these are all the different innovators who are there. Then Monk E is another company which has a YouTube channel and keeps on working on the societal problems. Okay, they have their own team of members who keep on working for that. Then iQuanta is the one which gives you coaching, cat coaching online. Okay, then one more, Ola Cabs. So this most of you might have known. So Ola Cabs is one more innovative concept that was brought up. Then other innovations are bioethanol mass production, right? Then you have a ship so bioethanol mass production, where they're using sucrose and other materials which are taken naturally, and then they try to generate bioethanol. Okay, then you have a ship to clean plastic from the ocean. Okay, they send the ship, and this ship will work only with the natural biofuels. Nothing artificial there. It's all natural, which is being used there. And it has worlds where it tries to pull away all the plastic. Okay, then you have portable water pollution checker. Okay, so potable water, you are aware of the drinking water, so there you try to check for the pollution. Then car exhaust filters from waste. So whatever waste they have got, they try to use it so that they can filter the gases that are coming from the car silencers. Then pollution checking app. These are all understood, right? So the concepts are really innovative. Sewer cleaning robot. So they have a robot which will try to clean all the sewage that is there. You can just train it, or you send signals to that, and you don't have to go near to that. You can have a remote, and then you operate from a particular place. Then flying farm survey drone. Okay, this is one more. Okay, so flying farm survey drone is the one where you have a crop. So the drone will be going around the crop, and it will try to check what are all the things that are happening. Then app to track malnutrition, nourished kids. So they have tried to um, have a discussion with an NGO, and then they try to build up an app for that. Okay, then AI powered high beam manager. So this they have developed because on highways you will have a number of accidents. So to reduce the accidents, whenever a car or a vehicle is coming from front, automatically this AI, what it does is it switches off or cuts down the power, reduces the beam light, and then it tries to manage it. Then you have stray dog vaccination tracker app. So this is one more concept, because some in places you have animals or dogs where they have rabies, right? And you do not never know which dog has what. So once they'll be giving shots for this rabies, and then they try to take pictures of the dog, and then see if whether that particular dog is being vaccinated or not. So who's next? Okay, so think that you will be the next, and then keep working on it, right? Thanks a lot. Of course, whoever has there, I hope you people have understood the concept, and then try to think differently, and then you will definitely be able to do wonders. So yeah, we will stop here, right? If anybody has anything to talk, you can ask. Yes. Anybody wants to say anything? Any questions you people have? Okay, so if you do not have any questions, then we will stop here. I hope you people have had a good time, right? God bless you all.